Hello everyone and welcome to my Brewers Best Session IPA brewing video. Just going to show you some quick highlights for the Brewers Best Session IPA that I brewed up. This video was actually taken a little over a month ago now. I've done the secondary and we have just a few more days until I bottle. But I just wanted to kind of go through the recipe itself. I picked up the brew kit and the ingredients that I had in it were actually over a year old. So I reached out to the seller and they sent me an updated version because, you know, Brewers Best had updated the hops and the grains and everything in the Session IPA itself. And so I figured, you know what, I'm getting all this different stuff than what I originally thought I was. I'm going to go ahead and mess around with the kit itself. So going in here to the muslin bag, you have 8 ounces of caramel 40, 8 ounces of victory, and 4 ounces of carapils. I didn't do anything to the grain bill itself. You're just letting in it steep for 20 minutes, anywhere between 150 and 165. I kept it at 155, just on the lower end, and we're just going to let it drain out here. It is a 5-gallon batch, and the hops, it's just, there are 4 individual packs of 1 ounce of Huel melon, which I've never actually used. This kit was the first time I've used it. And you just add the 1 ounce of hops a bunch of different times. You can see here I'm trying to get all the liquids out of the grains. And, you know, it's like boil 40 minutes, add some hops, boil 10 minutes, add some hops, boil 10 minutes, add some hops, flame out, add some hops. And I really like these sorts of brews. Easy to just do out in the driveway with a propane burner. Leads to some pretty good beers. And this was actually my first one. Because I'm generally new to the home brewing process, I didn't really think that getting, and especially because I came over from Mr. Beer, where they're just like, all right, take your stuff off the stove. You can see here I'm throwing in the hops as the boil starts. So this is the first 1 ounce pack. Coming over from Mr. Beer, they're like, all right, throw in your boiled wort, add the water, put the yeast in. You know, there's no cooling down of the wort whatsoever. So I'd kind of just always thought, okay, you know what, it got down to like 100 degrees. That's probably good enough, throw the yeast in. But what I've come to really notice is you don't get a good enough fermentation if you do that. So this Session IPA here that I did was actually the first one that I made sure I got it all the way down to 70-ish degrees just by stirring it, keeping the lid on for a while. To the right here of my boil kettle, I have like a little kiddie pool, that one of those blue ones you'd buy at like Walmart. I fill that up with just cold hose water and then go inside and grab my ice bucket from the refrigerator and throw all the ice in there. And it cools down anywhere from 30 minutes, kind of enough time for me to clean up and then, you know, go throw away some stuff, come out, stir it for a couple minutes, put the lid back on, and just continually try to cool it down. And this was the first time fermentation kicked off probably within the first few hours. Just really intense bubbling, and the fermentation lasted with bubbling actually coming out of the stopper probably for 3 days. I mean, obviously a little bit less toward the end day, but quite a very strong fermentation for the first couple. And so, as I said in the beginning, I had just brewed my first total non-kit brew with a bunch of friends the week before this, and they had kind of recommended putting like some juices or some sort of, you know, fruit juice to cut the IPA bitterness in that beer that we brewed. But I was like, no, I want to stick to this recipe. It's our first all grain. I don't really want to mess with it. And so this kit one, I was like, all right, you know what? It's a kit. I had really good fermentation on it. Let's mess with this one a little bit. So after the primary fermentation was done, roughly about a week after, it might have been even 6 days, I dropped in 33 ounces of mango juice, and this was no sugar mango juice. This was like expensive $7 glass bottle mango juice. And I threw in 2 ounces of Amarillo hops, and we're going to be bottling that one, or we'll be bottling this beer, I should say, here probably in a couple days. Literally the day after I brewed this one, I brewed another 1 gallon. It was a chocolate stout. And it's just a 1 gallon, so it'd be like 8 bottles or something. But I'll bottle that first. And then I didn't, when I put in the hops for the secondary fermentation, I have a hop holder, just like a metal mesh hop holder, so that you don't have to deal with all the hops that you get when you're bottling. And so I'm going to have a problem with bottling this beer itself, the Session IPA. And so I kind of want to have the bottling, it's a Mr. Beer fermenter, so it has the little tap thing. It's a lot easier to control. So what I'll end up doing is I'll bottle the 1 gallon chocolate stout today, let it clean it all up, get it all rinsed and sanitized, and then tomorrow I'll come back and bottle that 5 gallon and just put, use the hoses and all that pressurized stuff to move it from my 5 gallon fermenter into the 2 gallon one and just bottle it from there, just to try to get a lot of that hop residue out of there. But to be honest, I'm really excited for this beer. And we're going to be shooting some more. I bought a English IPA. Maybe it's an English Pale Ale. That'll be here tomorrow. I'll be recording that. So a lot of Brewers Best stuff, but I also ordered it's going to try to be a Spotted Cow clone. My parents live in Wisconsin, so they have Spotted Cow, obviously. It's not sold outside of Wisconsin. And every time we go up there, I make sure to, or every time they come back driving here, I make sure to have them bring me some. And I want to try to get something really close to the Spotted Cow. So it's a cream ale recipe. We're going to have to keep it kind of low in terms of fermentation temperatures. Was there anything else I had from the Session IPA? I did do a secondary fermentation, although I don't think I'm going to do a secondary. I'm just going to kind of test it with this Session IPA, or this English Pale Ale that I'm going to be getting tomorrow. And overall, it should be right around 40 to 50 bottles, I would hope. And we'll just kind of kick it in from there. You can see we're kind of coming to the end. I'd skipped a lot of the sections where we're adding the hops and stuff. But I want to thank you guys very much for watching. There'll be more brewing videos coming up here shortly. We're kicking it off then. Thank you guys. Talk to you later.